Welcome back to the greatest show. I am Jake Hill Harris. How are you folks doing today? You finished Fall Guys. You've never finished Fall Guys. Never done. Hello, Cass. Congratulations on being first. Oogly boogly bitch. I can't believe Alfie would do this to me. I can't believe Cass would call me stinky immediately at the start of stream. Hello, sir. Hello. Unreal. How you've been going hard. I did not know that I was rating someone who was gonna just be streaming the entire time. You recovered. I saw the DVD. I saw the DVD, almost went in and said something, and I'm like, no, what if I relapse? Went for 192 hours straight. Oh my god. I go 5 hours and I'm like, cool, I'm done for a week. It was a problem. Well, hopefully it sorted itself. Don't relapse. I'm not relapsing. Don't worry. Couldn't claim first because I'm mobile. My redeem button is like 3 buttons in one. Ooh, that's weird. Anyway, I'm excited about this one. I'm super excited about this one. And it's funny because after I knew that this was going to be one of the next games that I was going to play, a content creator I really started it, and I'm like, shit, I can't even watch because this is one of those games that can't do without spoilers. I'm going to turn this down a little bit more. I don't know if it's too loud for on your end, but I feel like I'm fighting it. Generally considering going in for tomorrow for another 9 days. Sir. I mean, you do you. We've only just met, so I don't know if that's healthy for you or not. I just know I can already hear my therapist about if I went and did that. So anyway, what is the Roottrees Are Dead? Well, the first I heard about it was someone, a person in the video game space whose opinion I really respect, not just because his name is Ben, was doing like a just dumb list of like superlatives for end of year, and he had a category that he called Best Obra-like, which I'm assuming is best game similar to Obra did. And he said Roottrees. I'm like, what the fuck is Roottrees? And why didn't I hear about a game that was similar to Obra did that came out in 2025? And so I went, searched Roottrees. The Roottrees Are Dead was the only thing that came up. And I started watching the trailer. And I wasn't sure about the Obra did comparison, but I was very sure about her story comparison, which is also a game we've played, and one of the few games that I've gotten all the achievements for on Steam. So I was sold. And then a week later it went on sale. So I was like, cool, guess I know what I'm streaming next year. I have not watched any gameplay of this besides the trailer. We're going to be using 1998 internet, because this takes place in December 6th, 1998, to find out more about this mystery and solve a murder? I'm going to read this because, again, knowing what I know about like her story and Obra did for that matter, there's going to be context clues everywhere. My therapist will flip the table if I tell them. I feel like that's usually the time you're supposed to tell something to your therapist, though. But not here to judge. What's the next horror game you're thinking of playing? I don't really have horror games in my... Well, okay. I don't really have horror games in my rotation. I've watched a lot of Routine, which is like a 6-hour game, and there's a part of me that's like, oh man, this would be really cool to stream, but also I've now watched most of it, and it's not that long, and there's not a whole lot to it, so I'm like, I don't know if I actually want to stream it. My name is Delia, or Darkwood. Could you put those in the in my Discord in the game recommendations? Because I will absolutely look those up. Because I'm definitely not opposed to horror. Just like, there's that game. There's the game coming out that was I forget if it was announced at Game Awards or if it was just a trailer for at the Game Awards, but the devs of Soma are coming out with a new game, which looks very spooky, and I'm excited to play it. But that's probably not out for a while. But anyway, the Roottrees are dead. What happened? The plane crashed last night near Pittsburgh. The only passengers were Carl Roottree, his wife Brenda, and their 3 daughters known as the Roottree sisters. Probably these 3. Carl Roottree was the president of the Roottree Candy Company, and it's not clear who will succeed him. So far, local police are not sure what caused the crash. Crash site. Yeah, just outside of Pittsburgh. They're calling it one of the most deadly plane crashes in Pennsylvania's history. All passengers and crew perished. Pittsburgh is generally known for pleasant flying conditions, and the weather was not atypical for this time of year. We do not know much at this time, but our sources tell us that local authorities do not suspect terrorism. The crash did not cause any local property damage, and fortunately, nobody outside the plane was hurt. Funeral plans have not been announced, but you can be sure the Butler County Times will cover it to the best of our abilities. The spokesperson for the company has asked that people respect the family's privacy, yada, yada, yada. Man. And yet another, like, there's I'd be willing to go on a very large limb and say there's no AI involved in this. But it's kind of funny because it's like, if you're gonna have news writing in your game, you should hire someone who's at least learned about news writing. But also, that's probably a point where why people will start using AI, or why devs will start using AI instead, is because, hey, make this sound like a news article. Is a hell of a lot cheaper than hiring someone who's done some AP writing that also, or has done some AP style that also wants to do video games. It's a shame. Because, like, Darkwood is $3. I will definitely check it out after stream. It's a shame, because, like, you could have easily redone this entire thing with just made it a little more. The other one who's Lila. Ooh. But anyway, let's get started. I have no idea. The Roottrees Are Dead. The mystery begins here. Roottree Mania. This mystery will unlock once you finish the Roottrees Are Dead. Okay. The Roottrees are loading. Look at this loading screen. Look at this loading screen. This is older than about half of you who are in here right now. I do actually, before we get too far into it, the main menu music was good. I had it open for like 15 minutes before stream, and usually I'll like mute it at some point because I'm like, oh, this is repetitive, but I'm like, nah, this is sweet. December 6th, 1998.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottree Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate
something unfun is my Reddit account got hacked.
Roottree and his daughters, the Roottree sisters, best known for their fashion lines.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Rootrees are dead.
Knock, knock, knock. On the DB subject, I only play that 4 times a year as friends. That would be even balder.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottree Company's lawyers are scrambling.
Otherwise, it'd be even balder. Yeah, I'm. It's gonna be uninstalled for a while, if ever it gets reinstalled. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's unfortunately seems like a pretty divisive topic, but yeah, Change password also deleted just in case. I got notifications. It was posting porn images. Cass, we know you were posting porn. It's okay. What the fuck? Why is everyone calling me stinky today? Hello, Al.
Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Complete the family tree of the Roottrees sisters. Okay, so one of them was married. Siblings are in birth order, oldest to youngest. Examine my evidence, search the internet for clues, fill in the names, fill in the occupations, fill in the photos. Sleuth! Okay. Evidence. The got milk picture. Person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. It was taken during the shoot for the Roottree sisters' Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, yes, Faith, that milk. You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it. Oh, right, because their family's a candy... Family's built on the candy business, so chocolate's important. All right. Does this let me go through? Okay, list of names. This list is provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You need to fill in the family tree. Women. Oh my... Okay. All right, so we've got a lot of people. I can't do math. Okay, so 2 of the Roottree sisters are probably going to be in here, but one of them is married. So we'll have to keep that in mind for the third of... But this does look like it's going to be our entire list of names. I'm curious about this one where we don't know the last name of them. There's not any of the men that are that. Excuse me. Okay. Hints. No, we don't need that. What's this? This is my board. These are my evidence. Here's my computer. Welcome.txt. Welcome to the Information Superhighway. Thanks for purchasing a new Cashew PC. Your PC is equipped with a 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high-resolution images. Oh god, are the pages going to take a year to load each image? Which would have been accurate for goddamn internet 1998. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included high-end laser color printer, or burn a music CD to listen to later. Want to revisit a search result, be sure to use Netscape Explorer. New history feature. Happy surfing. And remember, Cashew PCs are delicious. Cashew PCs are inedible. Do not try to eat your computer. If it doesn't make dial-up noise, they're going to be mad. You're welcome. It's beautiful, isn't it? Pro tip, you can create notes quickly by highlighting text with your mouse. Spider search. Web crawler. I did prefer Google to web crawler, even back in the day. Now let's hope nobody tries to call. Oh, yo. I was living the good life. My dad also really liked using the internet. So my parents got a second line just so we could have an internet line. I was that rich kid. All right. Let's search about the Roottrees. First few pages are filled with news results about the plane crash. Besides that, there are countless advertisements and conversations about the various products made by the Roottree Candy Company. Most articles mention Carl Roottree, who was the president of the Roottree Candy Company. His daughters are also eulogized, collectively referred to as the Roottree sisters. They've been famous from very early age. Okay, so it's interesting. So her story, and then what was that other game similar to that I played? Telling lies. That's what it was. If you search a term, and it came back with too many results, you would only get like the first X number of results. It had no idea if there were more. This seems to say if you search for something that has too many results, you're just going to get what's it called? A synopsis rather than like you get to see any of the results. Okay, so let's just learn about the sisters. Lots of obituaries to focus on the Roottree sisters' modeling careers. You also come across an unofficial Roottree fan site seemingly curated by a teenager. Oh, well, cool. It's neon pink with purple text and hard to read until you highlight the words. Young Master writes, Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS, but Riley is the smart one. Rose is the middle child like me. You might think they're rich just because they're models, but their dad is also the president of the candy company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand, Root. I eat Roottree candy all the time. My favorite are Maple Crisps, and try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. The website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. Okay, Raina, Rose, Riley. Raina. Okay, she kept her last name. How is it spelled? Hello? Okay, well, this one's Riley. Also, TMS. Where's the real streamer? He is right here. Hi, buddy. Hello, Wolfman. TMS. Oh, unknown male, unknown female. Cool. We know enough about these people that we should be able to figure it out. Thomas Sheridan? That seems... We can put that for now. And then... RHOSE. He's silently judging you. Oh, he's so good at that. RH. Interesting. Miracle Junior, Miracle Third. Okay, so Rose is not her actual name. So let's just search Rose. Rose Roottree? the results for Rose by herself to lead to anything different than when searching for the sisters together. Can't find what you're looking for? Something is the list of names that your employer provided. Doing a deeper dive on what you learn about them will often lead to additional discoveries. You can research ships to make a note of any brand name, books, products, lines, or magazines you don't recognize and search for them. Which will sometimes help directly, and when they don't, usually get... Should have had 2 packages today, but one got delayed till tomorrow. One arrived today. So why... Okay, let's look at names this way. Is there anything even similar to Rose? No. I wonder if that's going to be Eloise. Oh, Thomas Sheridan. I should search that name just to make sure that is who I think it is. Thomas Sheridan. TMS is a common abbreviation for early 90s teen heartthrob Thomas Mark Sheridan. His first credited role as Thomas Sheridan was on a soap opera called Time Marches Onward. He skyrocketed to popularity after a starring role in the sitcom Brother Trouble. It's the end of Brother Trouble. He was often been on the cover of tabloids for supposed drug use. More recently, his relationship with Raina Roottree. After a short engagement, they married in 1997. When she was only 19, he was 23. I knew Math Rocks were supposed to come today because they don't come until tomorrow. Oof. Sorry to hear that. Okay, so we're right about that. Eloise Roottree? Okay. This is not going to bring up anything, but I'm curious. What? I didn't think it was going to bring up anything relevant. Not that it would bring up nothing. Huh. Well, let's see if we can start finding some occupations. I mean, I could put model here. That seems easy enough to do. You don't have any portraits available to add to the family tree. To get started, click on Faces in your Evidence tab. Okay. Okay. I don't know which one's which, so let's... Wait! Plaid root like Riley does. Okay, so Riley's gonna be the one in plaid. Which is you? I guess I can search root. Root, period. The period is part of the name, is a clothing company. They make clothes for children from toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down, likely due to increased web traffic, find countless retail sites attempting to advertise your clothes towards the target audience. One of them has this to say: "You've spied the Roottree sisters looking hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you two can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina. You also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root Period has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appeared on almost all of them. There's only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda Roottree, the Roottree sisters' mother and Root's head designer, appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1905. The site says it was the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottree." Okay. All right, so we've got Carly. Interesting. Are we going to find anything else about Carly Roottree if we search this? Discover a trivia page that lists common trick questions. The answer to what are the first names of the famous Roottree girls lists the answer: Raina, Carly, and Riley. The explanation below the answer states that Rose was originally born Carly Rose Roottree. Apparently, her parents planned to name a son Carl Roottree Jr. After finding out they were having a second daughter, they called her Carly. Sometime in the early 90s, and now a preteen, Carly strongly expressed her desire the sisters had RH days if she was the odd one out, so she had to go by her middle name. Okay, cool. All right. So, pictures. Oh, one of them's going to have... I bet one of them's going to have a ring on her finger. No. Wait, yes. Yes, you. Okay, so you're the oldest. Man, playing Obra-like is fucking cheating. If you guys, I'm probably going to be doing some Obra-like spoilers today, so I apologize ahead of time if you've been meaning to play it and haven't. First of all, go fucking play it. Come back to the stream later. Second of all, I'm not going to spoil too much, but there are 2 characters where you figure out which one's which because one of them has a ring on it. It's funny that's like, I don't know if they were inspired by Obra-like or not. Although the three entries was what it takes to get this correct, and there's a change in music makes me think there's probably a little bit of love. All right, so we got these 3, and you've also locked the following optional entry: Thomas Sheridan. Booyah.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired.
Hell yeah, I'm hired.
The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The Roottrees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives. Anyone related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
Okay.
Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree.
Okay.
I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
What the fuck?
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Rootrees reaches out...
Are you not representing the
I'd
Rootrees?
appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Huh. She's guilty. Okay. Sleuth. Roottree Candy Company was founded in 1908 by Gwyneth Elias. Wait. What? Three and 9 before the person who hired you returns. Each time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, name, occupation, and portrait, they'll be locked in. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps to remove extra names and photos. Okay. So, let's start with the obvious. This is Carl. Carl. Who was the CEO, right? And then this is Brenda, right? Carl that kills people. What is this? Did you have a kid? Alright, what is all this new stuff? News alert! Rootrees and the parents died in a plane crash on... There's Roottree sisters and the parents died in a plane crash on December 6, 1998. Next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gives you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Rootrees who said they would be the easiest family members to place. So the return time it took to fill out 6 more blood relatives. You do have a kid? Oh, hell yeah. Congratulations, Cass. Excuse me. The list of notable Rootrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could be found easily via your search engine. We found the Roottree sisters. Carl Roottree, Elias and Gwyneth Roottree, Gwyn Roottree, Red Roottree, Jim Roottree, Lauren Roottree, and Miracle Jr. Any entry on the family tree that belongs to someone on the list will be marked with a star. Notable Rootrees will crossed out after they're locked and verified. This is 35. Intuition. You've been in this line of work a long time. So long, in fact, you developed a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers of the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. The higher the number, the more there is to find. The 35 is really good. Starting your search, the notables list sets off alarm bells. A list of famous people you can find via search engine. It's pretty rare to get something that useful. Best take advantage of it. As you progress, these numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or lock in family names, or lock in family members, new discoveries will be added to the list and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If the piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often the most satisfying revelations come from retracing a path you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. Sometimes the reason certain evidence has such high value is because it can lead to finding more evidence. You may be missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Cool. Roottree, 5 pieces. So, strawberry, power plum, awesome apple, bad blue, raspberry, cool chocolate. There's 5 flavors because the original inventor had 5 kids. Maybe that's why kids still love them. Radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s. What even is an elderberry anyway? The advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. And also mentions the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. So elderberry was one of them. Well, let's start with the easy thing. Elias and Gwyneth Roottree. I don't know why. Well, this is.
Time flies when you're here for a guy with a great beard and the Fluff Master General.
Time flies when you're here for a guy with a great beard and the Fluff Master General Buster.
Year. Wait, that's just in a row, right? It's my thing's being wonky. 77 months. Thank you so much. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. Its two names must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. All right. Gwyneth Anderson. Find some information on a website for the first Anderson maple farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. That photo was added to your evidence. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottree was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so the oldest sister she was to inherit the Anderson maple farm, so long as she married. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias' idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate, until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottree Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it's been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Fun news, Harris will probably be coming to California for my birthday this year. Dallas will be in the state. Hell yeah. It is a big state, so understandable if you don't make it all the way up here, but I hope you have fun. Okay, I probably will get the same result, but yeah, it's just this. Let's search 5 pieces. From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learned that 5 pieces are the iconic candies sold by the Roottree Candy Company. Though they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Excuse me. Although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavors. The shape and combination of maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Fortunately, when you click through the website, it seems like all the image links are broken. The Sweet History of Candy. Damn. Okay. Anyway. Look at these cuties. Famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottree was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottree Candy Company, but before it was a success. When you found searching on the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable Roottrees list of your evidence. We marked to the chart with a star. Okay, well. Hello from car before driving. Hello, car before driving. Her name is Slash. Oh, are you? So, this line, Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Am I supposed to put her as a housewife? She's listed as a founder, but I don't know what her role would have been. Oh, okay, so there's no CEO. Okay. So, president first. So you're going to be president 5th. Probably President 4th? We don't need to lock it in. Oh. Oh, no. Also, where are we getting a picture of Carl? Hope you're enjoying it. We'll be back in about an hour. Chat, behave. Chat, you heard her. Time to get crazy and rowdy and to blame it on her. Okay, we're gonna put this back to unknown. Okay, well, we still have Gwyn Roottree. We're of all these names, specifically. So, Gwyn Roottree. Find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not well organized, and the search is broken. We get to individual pages from your search engine. Gwyn Roottree is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's widely circulated a picture of Gwyn from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which added evidence. Did you know trivia? Gwyn was the granddaughter of Elias Roottree, the founder of Roottree Candy. She shouldn't have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. Okay. So we've got a picture. What is a widely circulated photo of Gwyn Roottree? You've seen it on multiple websites about old films. Gwyn Roottree is on the notable Rootrees list in your evidence. You'll mark the chart with a star. Okay, so we're looking for someone with a star who divorced. So that'd be her. Which makes you Gwyn. The occupation of an actor? Hell yeah. Okay. I'll select the following optional entry. Oh. Right. Because I don't need a... Yeah, no title or career for her. I just need to have her correctly. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is covering the 5th. Yeah. Okay, so 5 children. Do I have an elderberry? No, not this. Oh, look at this. All right, let's look at red Roottree. Find information on a website about strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Roottree, aka Red, because he's a fucking red herring, was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was ambassador to Ireland for only about 6 days. He served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Roottree Candy Company in a newspaper ad, but came out that the last name was merely coincident. He was defeated in a landslide. These motherfuckers. They literally gave me a red herring. So he's not even going to be in here. Don't forget, family trees use surnames from birth, even if the person changed their last name after marriage. Always use a person's most recent occupation. Genealogy for dunces. So there's not going to be any place for me to put him, right? That's fucking funny. All right, Jim Roottree. James Roottree is a singer who sings in the duo Jim and Diamond with his wife Diamond LaRue. LaRue mentioned. The duo, according to many sources you find, is considered a one-hit wonder due to the Cisco song "Rollin' On Down to the City." It's now in my evidence folder. Though Jim writes the majority of songs, plays the guitar, and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. The band never had another hit, but has its fans who refer to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. The rest of the music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they were known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Jim's become a bit of a recluse and has made a public appearance in 1996. Oh. Hello. A seed in MMM. Only the great-grandson of Elias Roottree can make disco this sweet. Okay, so grandson, not son. Rollin' On Down the City was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in 1979. According to the liner notes, satirized how part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East, as pop culture tricked them into caring. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them to caring. Instead, most of its play came from roller discos. It's such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Maybe that's why you've never heard of it before now. This image is from an auction for a sealed copy. It has a sticker that says only the great-grandson. Ooh, my bad, I missed the great. Only great-grandson of Elias Roottree can make disco this sweet. It is credited to Peter Janowicz from MMM. Music lyrics by Jim Roottree, vocals by Jim Roottree and Diamond LaRue. Jim Roottree is on the notable Roottrees list near evidence, and we marked the chart with a star. Lyrics of the song contains no clues. Lyrics: we're rolling on down the city. Saturday night and you're quite a sight. The world might be burning, but I'm feeling right. Making ends meet to pay rent and eat. We can't afford gas, so we skate in the street. The guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling on down to the city. On the wheels we glide with you by my side. Inflation is rising, but so is our pride. Pick our own fate, make love not hate. They fight overseas, but we'd rather skate. The guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling on down to the city. Politicians at large are all hopeless. The bakers in charge are all clowns. Parties sell better than protests. So signs up while we boogie down, 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 down. The guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling on down to the city. Oh.
We're rolling on down to the city.
Buster's getting funky.
Saturday night and you're quite a sight. The world might be burning, but I'm feeling right. Making ends meet to pay rent and eat. We can't afford gas, so we skate in the streets. Guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling on down to the city.
It will keep playing in the background if I navigate away. Oh my. First of all, bravo on having this as a tooltip. Fucking bravo. This is the most useful tooltip I've ever seen. And I play enough Paradox games that I know tooltips.
On wheels we glide with you by my side. Inflation.
Okay, great grandson.
Pick our own fate.
So that could be him.
Overseas, but we'd rather skate. Guys all rush to say that I'm pretty.
I mean, this has got to be him, right? Her name was Diamond, yeah. James. Stellaris Victoria 3, call that right there. Yeah. Don't mind me and my frustrations with EU5's tooltips. I wonder. Have a tooltip with another tooltip inside. I don't know if you've played EU5 yet, but there's a real bad problem in EU5 where a tooltip will be like, you'll mouse over something, like something will be mouse over will show us as a tooltip. It'll be like centralization. And you'll mouse over it, and it's like, this is the centralization value. And then you have to mouse over centralization and that to actually figure out what the fuck they mean by centralization. Yeah. EU5 has definitely been the worst of it. Like, there's some cool stuff that CK3 did with it. CK3, I think, has been the best implementation of it so far, because it felt like most of the relevant info was in that first tooltip, and then if you needed more info, there was other stuff afterwards. I'm trying to remember how much I've looked at Stellaris' tooltips. Stellaris was before CK3, so. To verify this person, you'll be able to add bonus photos. Interesting. Okay, notables. Lauren Roottree. Author Lauren Roottree, a distant relative of the Roottree sisters, is known for her book A Life Between Wars. According to a website about famous authors, in the early 1960s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty, to little fanfare. While a publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Roottree, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. The selection of diary entries, released in 1965 as A Life Between Wars, spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as perspectives on changing times and social lights all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it's found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style for a look at a life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Lauren Roottree. This included Romance in Court, which gained popularity. She followed the re-release by writing 2 new sequels, creating what fans refer to as the Court Jester series. Find no recent details about Lauren, though she is listed as retired. So someone showed they remarried? Yes, a couple of people. Okay, so I never have stars though. You. No. Huh. Okay, so between these two, I have no idea which one's going to be which. Miracle Jr. Just search that. Miracle Jr. doesn't go by his full name in promotional materials. Instead, he has shortened it to Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who is part of the Miracle Network. He used to have a show that aired on local access across many stations in the northeastern United States. According to a website called Clergy Watch, he was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to fraud the public in 1979. He claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. The news expose revealed it was his wife, Edith's sister in disguise. The author also mentions that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself, but doesn't clarify. He since lost his television show, instead goes on tour across the southern United States, where he was not well known before the scandal. Okay. I bet the easiest way to figure out which one of these is the one we're looking for would be to find more about Miracle the Third. Okay, what the fuck is his name? Miracle 3RD. No. Miracle Roottree Third? So just search for Miracle Roottree. Found a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottrees estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the following blurb. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottree. Miracle Roottree arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he would survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He's younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. Okay, so Miracle is going to be all the way on the right because it's by age order. The birth that late, the final child of his generation, was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. But still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottree Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottree name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. Via the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it most. Power of the Lord, coming to a town near you. Hold the blurb as a flyer about the tour, which is in your evidence. Okay, I have an ad starting, so we're going to take a quick break, let my voice relax. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. See you soon. All right, we're back. Sup, nerd? I heard those people are dead. Yeah, the Roottrees are dead. All right, so we just found out about the miracles. So specifically, we got to figure out. So this will be no, not one of those. Here, miracle, which makes you Miracle Junior. Which I'm assuming makes you Miracle the Third. I just lost Martin Luther, the great explorer who founded the Reformation in Florence and led the Italian colonization of the New World. Good old Europa Universalis 5. Okay, so this means that this other person is Lauren Roottree. Lauren. And excuse me. We also have this. So this is going to be Miracle Jr. This will be Miracle Third. His wife, Nicole. Flyer for the 3 Generations of Miracles Tour. Flyer's a few years old. It comes from 1996. The names listed are Miracle Jr., said to be world famous and gets top billing. Miracle Jr. is on the notable Rootrees list. In your evidence, you marked on the chart with a star. Miracle Roottree, who the flyer says will make a special appearance. Miracle Third and his wife Nicole are said to be the youth pastors. Okay, Nicole. Great. We'll have to look that up later. Then Miracle Jr. Edith. Looking for Edith. Then, okay, so you're this one. You're gonna be this one. Past. Ooh. What are your actor advertising? Just tag them all as actors. Media mogul. Preacher. Preacher. Cool. We got 9 of the blood relatives. Lock the following optional entries: Diamond LaRue and Edith Jacobson. Booyah! What does this let me? Oh, it lets me go through the entire list.
You're on a roll. I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes.
I could have done the Obra-like thing where I locked in one of the Nicoles to see if I was right, but I want to try and avoid brute forcing anything.
Roottree reunion. I also found some important-looking papers.
That is a what? Why are there so many photos?
You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
All right, new evidence. was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached and seemed personal. A flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. The back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but her words are still full of love. Now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The message is not cough. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she uses publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. CM. Okay, so CM is going to be a cousin, and then Stephanie... Oh, Stephanie Jones is going to be her married name, isn't it? We'll come back to this. Let's make sure we've looked at everything. What is this? This photo is a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. On the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris. Gwyn and the boys. Really sorry about that. Jesus. What does that say? Film school? This photo is tucked inside an envelope with the letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on Earth, knew how busy your job could be. I have closed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects. It was not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work that you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced trust, and that it was no coincidence that happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Okay, so this is another Nicole. Debbie... Do I have a Debbie anywhere? I guess easier way of doing that is looking at... Not that. You get this. Deborah Bean. Who's Ernie? Ernest Madsen. Okay, so... Because I'm going to forget about this. So Nicole. I need one that's not Madsen. Okay, Nicole Smith. Now, where the hell I'm going to find... Ernie Madsen and Deborah Bean is another thing entirely. After some time, they returned with new resources, a photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid to late 1970s, as well as some papers and mail from his office. So they had a bit more to share after 9 more blood relatives. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Rootrees would hold a big reunion to recreate an old family photo. This is one from the 70s, and Carl's a teenager in the middle. I guess this one? Sorry about the water damage, a pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, in child's print writing, it says November. November is a name. There is a name. I wonder if that's her. Also, a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next president Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Well, time to start adding some pictures. Okay. So that's you? Let's go back to this. Gwyn and the boys. Who the frick is Gwyn and the boys? Makes me think it's 3 siblings, but that's oh, that's here, but that's oh, couldn't make the reunion. Okay, so Gwyn's somewhere in this row and has 2 sons. So it could be this, this, or this. Fuck me. You're an author. I should put that in. Okay, Jim's in here. Which one's gonna be Jim? This is fucking Miracle Jr., right? This fucking shitty grid with the weird tie. That actually has a name on it. Eli. Oh, you know what? Let's start searching some names. Hold on. November. Let's start with November, because I have a feeling it's the kid. Like the... What is this? Open your notepad. On each page, other than this one, you can jot down important information such as names, family relationships, marital status, sibling count, or anything else you'd like to remember. Tips. Page titles can be renamed to make it easier to remember what you've written on each one. Highlight any text in your web browser or evidence for the quick option to add it to your notes. The entire contents of your notepad are saved even if you quit the game. Don't forget to check when you return. Family reminders. Siblings, often referred to as brothers, sisters, people that share the same parents. Cousins, sometimes referred to as first cousins, people that share the same grandparents but not the same parents. Second cousins, sometimes referred to as distant cousins, people that share the same great-grandparents but not the same grandparents. Third cousins can also sometimes be referred to as distant cousins, sometimes people that share the same great-great-grandparents but not the same great-grandparents. American school terms, man, they made sure, which is great. I'm glad. K through 12 stands for kindergarten through 12th grade. This includes all schooling from ages 5 to 18. Schools produce yearbooks, which are albums of stage photos of the students, typically with solid color or cloudy backgrounds. Okay. I should be using that more. Let's start with November Roottree. Couldn't be that easy. Eli. Why are there so many Eliases? Or Elias. Okay, let's go. Eli M. So that's him. So who the fuck is Eli M? Hello? Ernest Jr., James Zachariah. Oh, Elias M. Roottree. An apple pie in the U.S. Virgin Islands is $8. A cherry pie in Jamaica is $6. A peach pie in Barbados is $4.50. Just thought you'd know the pie rates of the Caribbean. Thank you, Abu. I appreciate that. Interesting. I don't... Do we ever looked at this page? There's also a biography section and some additional information. Elias is credited for inventing 5 pieces of popular maple candy. For that, the farm he inherited. Hydrate, thank you. The farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. 5 pieces became wildly successful. Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He's quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup, and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy." The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. I think we're going to find out that that is not true. A few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man, The Roottree Legacy by Bess Williams say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there's a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out. Like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They've been around for over 100 years in one form or another, often write about major changes in management of famous companies. Every year, they offer an award to a prominent businessman who is further the field. They call us Watchman of the Year. Find through few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as Watchman of the Year, Elias Roottree and Carl Roottree. This watch does not host any online archives at any site you can find via Spanish search, so you may be able to find individual articles and issues through periodical search. How do I do a periodical search? Oh. What the when did these links show up? No. I've needed to be... Fuck me. Page 1. Books. Let's edit this. So this is Lauren Roottree. I love it, game computers. Yeah. There's another book we were found. Wait. Is this the... Get out of here. This is... Oh. These are Gwyn's two boys. I'm dumb. Okay. So, I don't want to put them down because I'll probably get it wrong. There was a book I actually did try to look up. Where the fuck was it? Or did I search the 5 pieces? I think that was it. Okay. Well, I'm using my little computer, watch another person use their big computer, look at a fake computer and real big computer on my little computer. Hell yeah. Okay, public library. Author name, Charles Lee. The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2. Cat's Living Life. Cool. We've got a picture now that'll help us with some names. It's part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. The addition of hindsight, you clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. Includes some printed advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s, adding to evidence. It's a miracle. A modern candy for a modern society. Rootrees 5 pieces contain 5 different maple-infused flavors. The Rootrees are a proud family business. Their flavors inspired by our children. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, M is for melon, and introducing M for miracle berry. Miracle berry is a burst of beautiful blossoming blended berries. Try it today. Okay. So GECEM. So... Harris, what's the worst Fallout, in my opinion? Fallout Shelter. I'll be taking no more questions. You disagree? Okay, so... GECEM. Okay, so the G... The G has to be Gwendolyn, right? Because we know who Gwyn Roottree is. It doesn't look like there's any other G. And we've established that this uses their birth name. So that makes you Roottree Gwendolyn. Fallout crossed with DBD. Wait, what? But that is that even a thing? Okay, back to this. E. We have so many E names. So I think I was just saying it. Okay. Well then what's the worst Fallout for you? Since you disagree with my opinion that Fallout Shelter's worst Fallout. Don't believe everything you read online, Harris. I was just looking for a second source. Okay, well, let's just go do it like this. Okay. I'm almost, well, yeah, there's an Elias Jr., so that's got to be you. Then a C. Clancy Edward. Yep. And then a name that is not Miracle, Margalite. Which makes sense, because he took her name. We know that's the only thing we know about him, is that he took her name. Oh, we know this other picture. That's her. Okay. Cool. So that was super helpful. Periodical, Business Watch, keywords, Watchman. Oh God, Watchman of the Year. Business Watch is awarded Watchman of the Year to many people through the years. Every 10 years to publish the full list again. You search through the most recent list, and the only names you recognize are Leas Roottree in 1936 and Carl Roottree in 1987. You think 4 is the worst Fallout? The worst Fallout you've played, or have you played all of them? And I know I already shitposted and said Fallout Shelter, but like, I'm trying to think if there's any other side games besides, 1, 2, 3, 4, New Vegas, and 76. I feel like that's a pretty lukewarm take. I feel like I've heard a lot of people not like 4. Well, the Warhammer typing game Bolt Gun is actually fun as hell. Oh my god, typing. I haven't played a typing game since like Mavis Beacon. I don't even remember which number it was. Hey, what am I supposed to do with this? The fact that I can search Business Watch. Root? Ah. What does this give me? Ah. Another picture of Carl. Ongoing coverage of Who's in the Corporate World. Watchman of the Year issue. Carl Roottree grabs life by the roots. Carl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987, and a photo of him appears on the cover. According to the cover, Business Watch is a magazine for and about corporate leaders and has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. Damn, Carl is hot. I mean, the whole family's hot. Oh, look! It's the picture. Sorry, I was looking at the webcam. Are you Carl? Carl. Buster's nom de plume is Carl. It's something to be Bolgad. Carl was chosen not for his work at Roottree Candy, but rather at a clothing company, Root. His roof history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for a creative outlet, she spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin Jim Roottree, a notable singer who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. What's his daughter's name? Stupid game, Steve! They wouldn't write it like this. This was writing purely for gameplay's sake. By 1982, Brenda's patterns were copied by other brands, seeing the demand. Carl and his second cousin, Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Roottree at the time, spearheaded Root. Second cousin. So, same. Damn. Same cousins, so it's literally could be anyone in here. They're not even following the Chicago manual style for that writing. Have they no shame? Well, to be fair, this is a synopsis. Family relations. Okay, just family, because the rest of it gets cut off anyway. Hello? Other blood relatives have a say in the company's finances, refused to fund anything other than candy, so Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. Profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now Root period exists under the umbrella of the candy company. They all benefit. Per tradition, or perhaps some superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first ones did. Raina became the catalog's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sister was then recruited to show off the baby clothes. Carl was voted Watch of the Year primarily for his personal gamble and ensuing payoff. Okay, let's... So that picture for now. My wife was playing Strange Antiquities, and every time I looked over, she was doing the Death Dice game. Uh-oh. Okay. There's two things I can get from this? Interesting. Not just the picture. I guess this is one, probably. The one that's left is going to be Nicole. The five are the five names, which we haven't locked in. Or are any of these the same? How are there still fucking 10 things to get out of this? Oh God. Excuse me. Right, this still means the number counts down. Yeah. Interesting. Let's work on Stephanie Jones next. You learned from an elections results page that Stephanie Jones, the candidate for city council, won her campaign on election day about a month ago. You find no mention of the Roottrees in any articles about her. Stephanie also has a very bare bones website for a campaign and simply a picture of her campaign mailer, and underneath it says, be sure to read the full article in the Butler County Times. I bet we need to add the Butler County Times to appear in articles. So let's search Butler County Times. Hey! Butler County is located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. While the Roottree Company now has its headquarters in the city, the company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits. The area has a lot of history with the family. Butler County Times is presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottree family, and though it was adjacent to them, it's been automatically added to your periodical search interface. Side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County. Turns out the creator never lived in or near Butler County or had any connection to Butler County. What? What the what? Oh, highlight just immediately puts it in. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're gonna look at Stephanie Jones. Most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results from last month's election. Stephanie apparently won her election. You also find the full version of the newspaper clipping on the back of the campaign mailer. Most of it is unimportant. You do find the following. We're going to put this there. Yes. Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. Gage. Here, all cuties have a mic in front of them with a blue covering. Yes, and some non-cuties, too. Her name is Splashcina. She's a distant cousin to the Roottrees. Her mother, Caroline, a local artist who has appeared on the front page of the Butler County Times in the past, has often come out opposed to the corporation's policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love to the world. Caroline Landon? Uh-oh. Caroline Landon. Okay, what names do I have that start with Caroline? Caroline. Don't do this to me. Oh, interesting. I just put this together. Diamond and Jim's kids all have Diamond's last name. Caroline Warden. Is there another Caroline? I guess there's one easy way to find out if there's another Caroline. Warden. Where the fuck is this going to be? Oh, CM. Jesus. Oh. Want a veg pizza or barbecue chicken pizza? Yes. Let's just start timing here. Okay, there's one Caroline. Order me 1, 2. I want chicken, pineapple, green peppers, banana peppers, and jalapenos on white sauce. Sounds real good. Is this her? We don't know who. Caroline's listed a few art websites without much detail. She seems associated with a movie called P-Flag. Organization founded in the 70s, the acronym stands for Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Hold on. What? Stephanie grew up in a home without a father, with my mother and her partner essentially had entirely female influence. Okay, so Caroline you know, into women. Which, like, I keep coming back to this as this, like, is there another Landon? So this might be Mark Landon, and then Caroline Morden. Is there another Morden? Angelica or Gwendolyn. Fuck! Wait. It won't be Gwendolyn, because Gwendolyn's a family name. Oh no, this is birth name. So no, this would be Morden anyway. Okay, so Brian. Do we send it? Do we just send that this is politics? So that would be 2. You would be an artiste. Find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Carolyn Morden. There isn't much about Carolyn as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Company story is an image of Carolyn standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. Is captioned, Caroline said next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burned. Sculpture is one of many works featured in our upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and Beauty. According to quote further down, Atlantis Burned is meant to symbolize society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. Picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. Carolyn standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burned. Sculpture is one of many works featured in upcoming book Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. It's one of many pieces of local art at the Something Art Expo, art something blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see how right. Hell yeah. Man, that is a lot of pictures we just locked. Booyah. Okay. So now we give Carl his other picture, which is this one. It is Obra-like with the 3 locks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You weren't here from the beginning. This game was sold. The reason I was even interested in this game in the first place is a person in the game, in video game space whose opinion I respect pretty highly, had a list of superlatives at the end of the year, and one of his superlatives was best Obra-like, and all it said was Roottrees. So yeah, I was hooked. It's like The perfect blending of her story and Oberdin. Okay, so sorry about that. So who next? I guess we can start looking at some of the books. Because apparently this has a bunch of stuff. Published 1987, softcover large, art, photography, sculpture, dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Mostly black and white pictures of Caroline's art. The centerpiece is a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching to 25-30. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. Cowards! In the intro, Caroline talks about influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation. In her late teens, she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up dreams to settle for boring men. All right, well, this is Gwendolyn. Okay, one of these is Bonnie. Wish there was a better way of tagging possibles. I guess I could just put one in. Hudson. Oh, God. Also, her complaining about that makes me think that she's also going to be tagged as a housewife. Eloise and Stephanie. Oh. Oh! This is why we don't know the last name. I bet. Who the fuck is Stephanie? Cattrall. Who the fuck is Stephanie Cattrall? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to say the person we don't know the last name of is going to be Carolyn Morden's roommate. They were roommates. Wait, so Stephanie Cattrall. What are the Cattrall names? Sam? Okay, we're just gonna put Bonnie was the one that had kids. Jazzy Yellow Radio Music as a choice, though. Just saying. You know what? Let's be smart. Let's just search Bonnie Hudson. after we read this. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. It's not bad, but it definitely feels like it here on an elevator on hold. Marriage has led her to double down on her passions, art, and the environment. She even married a man who was opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. She came out strongly against the Roottree Company's effect on the local environment, and Rue's how she was unable to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to policy. Wait. No. You're not going to be... You're going to be Zach. Which makes you... James? No, but then this would be a Morden as well. Wait, do I have one more Morden? Angelica. Do I have another Hudson? Do. I don't know if it's Christopher or Guy, though. We'll just put... We'll come back to the Hudsons. Okay. And Peggy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative, and that the only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves, art, and the beauty of women. Alright. Let's search for Christopher Hudson. Are you fucking kidding me? Guy Hudson. Gila Shear. What the fuck, Spider search engine for real? Oh. Okay. I think I have it backwards then. This is going to be Guy Hudson. And then this will be... Maybe? Wait, no. No, it's going to be the other way around. I think I had it right the first time. Because it would be it wouldn't be someone who married in who'd be a president. So which part of the president, which president were you? This Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottree, an attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted. Guy looked at his own wealth, which is often a source for others, and decided to tap into any of the added fancy flavors to 5 pieces. Anyone could live like the wealthy. His philosophy led to a flavor in 5 pieces meant to mimic caviar. 5 pieces sold less that year than it had any other year, except in some foreign markets. Quickly announced that caviar was meant to be a limited flavor and go back to normal as soon as possible. So this is going to be the third president? Because... Carl's the 5th. And... At 82, Ernie Jr. just become president. So Ernie Jr. is the 4th, which makes you the 3rd president. Now I gotta figure it out between these two. Lonnie Hudson. Fucking A. Angelica Morden. James Morden? Zachariah Morden. Try Zach Morden. Damn. This is old. At school, actually search. It gives you information on fake info. Who pays the most to be top search? Gwendolyn Morden. It's gonna be under a married name, isn't it? Well, I could search Ernie Jr. Roottree. Ernie Roottree. Nope. Search for typos? Well, oh, we're at ads. Okay.
JKL Harris smells like
sorry,
waffles.
sir, you got here just in time for that break. So.
What?
No, you're good. You're good, Slash. All right, I'm gonna get up, stretch my legs, drink, refill my water because I'm definitely needing it. I've been coughing my ass off. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. All right, we're back. Thank you for that, Redeem. Splash is indeed cute. Can't believe Splash is trying to gaslight Amu into thinking otherwise. All right, what do we look at? Not a hits. Of course. Of fucking course. Wait. I'm now concerned that I'm gonna get muted. Amo, does that name sound familiar? What name? Sorry, I was distracted. Kevin MacLeod, who's did this. The professor at Tulare Community College just uses a lot of his stuff. So I found that funny. Only reason I got this is because of Star. That's... well, let's keep looking up names. Clancy Edward Roottree. The clan said, pronounced clan said, Trust is a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias' son and the Roottree Candy Company's head lawyer at the time. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up in online discussions about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. The account is created for each blood relative at birth and first accessible when they reach 18. The actual numbers have never been fully disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company and a significant amount of money, the Clancy Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. So there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another family member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The information you discover is from a university law school, which apparently has a guest lecturer talking about the Roottrees versus RR in 1994. Looking at the Clancy Trust, you have to find mentions of the 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. Okay, there's a lot of things to search in here. Most importantly, you're a lawyer. Well, maybe not most importantly, but that's the easiest thing to glean. Let's search the Rootrees versus RR. Find very few details about this particular incident with regards to Clancy Trust. A student that attended a lecture about it wrote the following on a legal oddities website. From what you can tell, RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. Said that RR attempted 2 arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the Clan said trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descendant of Elias Roottree without completely dissolving the trust. No additional information online. Okay, so if we look at our list of names, who the hell could RR be? It's going to be something Roottree probably, right? There's a Robert, there's a Ronald, there's a... Well, it's not going to be Rayna or Riley. Well, I guess it could be, but it's probably not. For those of you joining late, those are 2 of the Roottree sisters that are very young. Well, Rayna was 20 when she passed. Anyway, what was the other thing? The 5-piece guarantee. Oh, I didn't need to copy. I just needed to click this. 5E's guarantee, in combination with clients of trust, was Elias Roottree attempt to ensure the Roottree Candy Company would remain a family business for eternity. Isolation is somewhat baffling. Yearly salary of Roottree's president is always locked at the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. When the 5-piece guarantee went into effect, this was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the clans of trust, however, it makes a bit more sense. He just wants to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president, and that he knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they'd have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and successful as possible. Okay, cool. I guessed this, but it like... And actually, it was probably wrong for me to guess this because there's plenty of examples of companies that like let someone who married into the family is like take over. But it seemed to be a smart guess because very specifically, that's why I decided that Guy Hudson was here and Christopher Hudson was here, or that Christopher Hudson's Guy Hudson's father is because Christopher Hudson's marrying in, whereas Guy Hudson's actually part of the family, or part of the direct line. Anyway. Whether or not the smart or successful decision is widely debated both online and in person by economic enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. So, it's funny. I think I'd already assumed this, but good to know. Okay, what pictures have I... Stop doing this. Oh, is Carolyn going to be in this picture? Probably, yes. Next president, Guy Hudson. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. This also would have told me that. Wait. Why is... Huh. I just realized... Miracle Jr., I guess... His dad was 14 years younger than all of his dad's siblings. So he probably felt closer to these guys. Gwyneth M. and Gwendolyn. Okay, let's start getting some pictures out of the way. What? This is probably reversed. Let's get them in. Oh, I haven't done the monowire filament execution yet in Cyberpunk. It was pretty brutal. Ooh. Oh, I have... Okay, I know what I need to look up. I need to look up her book. I don't know why I put that off. Seems you've hit the jackpot here. This book occasionally taught in schools. You can find a hardcover edition for students that has full-page, high-quality pictures in it. A summary of the contents of the books, photos, as well as some particularly... oh my god! A summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant interests to diary, but add your evidence. Jesus Christ. Okay. Life Between Wars, excerpts from the diaries of Roottree. Below are notes and observations he made while skimming through Lord Rootree's diary pages in Life Between Wars. Lord Roottree is on the notable Rootree's list of your evidence. She'll mark this. So let's make sure we got our picture. And make sure we use his. Excuse me. Book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 1940 to 1965. Most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband, Jacob. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while Lauren was pregnant. She left to raise her son, Clark, alone. Lauren never remarried, only had one child. Okay. Jacob Rafferty? Clark Rafferty. By skimming the pages of the diary, you glean the following information. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Yep. Her mother's family was called the Cossells, but she hardly ever mentions them. Sarah. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottree Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clan-Said Trust. Ooh, cool. You got a couple different ways of coming at these names then. It's clear from context the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces. The first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was the generation. The next generation, Lauren's generation. The free spirits, the generation after Lauren's, including her son. An entry entitled Complaints from Lord Rootree's Diary, written in 1953. Entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwyn, who was on the notable Roottree list. Seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwyn, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch out for 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer, I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot. Okay. We already know about her. I hoped she would be the sister I never had, and that I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the two of them. What a mess. But she just complained. To her, I was lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my happiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. She gets to be in starlit and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first Roottree woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I'm jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in the world, in this world? Okay, let's tag that. So, Margolite and Gwendolyn. She was the first to not get to be a housewife. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me. Now, though I've been undoubtedly burned by terrible tragedy, I'm also lucky to be born in a family that can support me for eternity. Raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they'd rightfully scoff, just like I do at Gwyn. An entry titled Dynasty from Lord Rootree's Diary, written in 1958, focused on the day her grandfather, Elias, announced he would step down as president of Roottree Candy Company and the meeting to determine his successor. There should have been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Granddad was furious none of his sons would take over as president. That's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. Well, you're an architect. Because housewife, lawyer, housewife, preacher. I didn't tag that, but it's obviously what he is. So with the 5 pieces refused to step up, it came down to its next gens. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottree name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. Instead, it ended up going to Zach. Though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Okay. Interesting. So it's a Zach, his nephew, guy, and then one of these two? Then to Carl. Even though his surname was matched candy, he's firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Oh. Oh, firstborn son. I was like, what? No, that makes sense. Still don't know the order between these two, but not sure how that's relevant to running a company, but Granddad always had a very particular view when it came to his bloodline. Ask Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach. I'm next oldest of us all, but he just laughed. Never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Mom would go to us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered back. Maybe they wanted to go the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Alright, well. Carl tried Wookie me. Dad, stop. It was Chewy, Carl! No, we want that. What the fuck, Pod BS? Did I come back to Yahoo? This is Walking Dead. But Carl! Okay, so Zach's... We're saving that note because it means Zach is chubby. Also, got extra food from Domino's. An entry entitled Sam from Lauren Rootree's Diary, in 1963. For previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottree had given it to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth has been pushing to include him for quite some time. Lauren writes, why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two. I was told, trim their branch for the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up. I'm not the only one to realize. And she summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwyn's in Paris, the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Maybe an order of Parmesan's bread bites. I suspect they belong to someone else. What could they do now they gave it to me? True!
J.K.L. Harris smells
Uncle
like syrupy waffles. Saying he smells good?
Poor Roottrees Indy, thank you for the sub. Is that 2 months total? 2 months total. Hell yeah. Uncle Junior being Ernie Jr.? Oh. Yeah. Right. I was thinking she was a generation down and I was going to figure out one of these names, but no. So, Patsy. Fuck. No, I'm not brute forcing it. I'm enjoying my favorite pastime, waiting on hold with Honda. Oh no. Is it the local dealer? Because I have a Hyundai. So if it is, then I know your pain. Do I just go in and talk to them? Okay. At the reception, I asked who Sam was. Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John. We used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. On hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all three are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. Not worth the phone. I'm calling corporate. Okay. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. So, confirms there's a couple of Elis in this generation. But also, looking at this picture, I kept thinking, man, Eli here looks way too much like Miracle Jr. to not be, a little closer related than the rest of us. We think that's Eli M. So I'm going to tag this as Eli M. Now the other thing is, I guess I can't tell what kind of blue-collar job that is. But it's certainly a blue-collar job that has your name on the frickin' tag, right? Oh, the free spirits. Janitor? Looks like a janitor. Janitor is not an option. Actor, no. Advertising, no. Architect, no. Artist, author, baby. What the fuck? Johnny Silverhand is a Marine? Custodian. Nope, not an option. Your occupation is baby? But why is he... Oh. I have to show you guys this, because I think you all missed it. So they give you a list of important names early on to help you, find some easy ones to get you started. One of the ones they give you is Red Roottree. Aloysius Herring Roottree, a.k.a. Red. He claimed he related to the Roottree Candy Company, a newspaper ad, but it came out that the last name was merely a coincidence and he was defeated in a landslide. Now, after you read this article, when you go back to the evidence that has this list, look what they put next to goddamn Red Roottree's name. Because he's a fucking red herring. Anyway, we were trying to figure out this guy's job. Cashier, CEO, chef, comedian, construction, dancer, director, doctor, driver, farmer, firefighter, hairdresser, housewife, interior design, lawyer, manufacturing, mechanic. Mechanic was my first thought. Media mogul, military. We'll come back to this because military... like, this is traditionally what I think of, but I've definitely seen, like, artistic, what's it called? Interpretations of uniforms have, like, that white coloring on it, or that white name tape. That would be the last name, though, not the first name. Okay, I'm already over it. It's not military. Model, musician, news anchor, nurse, pilot, police officer. No, still would be last name. Politics, preacher, not one of the presidents, principal, pro athlete, professor, public speaker, retail, screenwriter, secretary, student college, student K-12, travel agent. Yeah, I'm going to go with mechanic. I think, like, mechanic feels like a reasonable guess without trying to brute force. Because I feel like the game's giving me enough that I don't need to brute force. Although, have I put in... No, I haven't put in 3. That would be my second, because it's pictures. Pictures are important. Now, the other thing is, now, one of these brothers is an Eli. Oh, God. I'm just going to put the name in just to remind myself that one of these is Eli. But I don't know which one yet. Wait. Where are the cursive signatures? It's saying there's a large number of cursive signatures, but I don't see any of them here. Are they on the back? I can't look at the back. Actually, no. On the back of the photo, it just says November, which November is one of the names. Which I'm assuming is her. And I have no idea where she fits in. Excuse me. Anyway, let's keep looking at this. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seemed thrilled. It says after that, there are large number of signatures. Oh! I feel like it was trying to... I feel like the reason that was separate was trying to say that that wasn't on the back. But I could be wrong. In the day, nothing explains why an outsider is cozy to family affairs. Especially he works at the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup? Why is Granddad making an exception now? So, Sam was born out of wedlock? Terrible use of antecedent for a pronoun. Final entry is called Clark from Lord Rootree's diary written in 1964. Clark's getting married, and, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18 for God's sake, and Danielle is much older. But openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. There's another Clancy? Wait. There's a Clancy. Okay. I'm going to assume that Clancy Jr. is the oldest son. Actually, that lines up because then that would make... Wait, no. We're going to go back to you. We're going to say that's the youngest because this lets this be... Oh. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, Clark's my kid. Never mind. Okay, so Danielle. Danielle Franks. Oh, sorry. Well, Lauren Roottree. I'm looking at all this from Lauren Rootree's point of view. That's my bad. Because that's, like, all the stuff we're getting to get. Oh. Carl, though. There's a Carl. Wait. Oh, yeah. There's Carl. Duh. Okay, so Carl went to the academy. And so Clancy Jr., yes. So Clancy Jr. is the oldest. And then Pop forced Clancy Jr. to send Carl to the military academy. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. Said every generation ever. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Is this November? I mean, right? We already have locked in Clark, Carl, James. So, if someone brought home, someone they wouldn't have been able to marry south of Pennsylvania, they might have had a kid with them that looked like November. Or who I'm assuming is November. I guess I don't know that this is Elias, but... Anyway. Posse has gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. Edward? Who the fuck is Edward? Edward Roottree. Okay, don't know between these two who's actually who. But we can get that started. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob. We were walking the woods after school. Which is my husband. Yep. Thinking proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seemed to be doing a good job raising her twins. Oh no! They're twins! Bonnie and Guy are twins. Okay, so now I have to figure out which of them had a kid. Why is this the only thing I can find about Guy Hudson? She do a good job raising her twins. Gwyn is Gwyn, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She had told us she might come home next year so we could meet her kids. The Free Spirits, another family, they'd all end up in the streets. Even Clark. Okay. We got some pictures. Lauren's diary contains some label pictures. This is the 5 pieces. Caption, this picture is famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. Okay. Well. Cool. So that's him on. No, not you. That's him on the left. Locked in everyone on the notable Roottrees list. Locked Sarah Cassell, Jacob Rafferty, Danielle Franks, James Morden, Eloise. I was right. Booyah!
You're listening to
It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottree's belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottree family from the mid-1970s
Oh no!
that Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article, search online for WRTD News. Again, that's WRTD.
Very important. WRTD News. WRTD's News is your local investigative jazz radio station. During their news segments, at 45 minutes on the hour, they have been talking about the plane crash. This most recent hour, they also talked about a picture taken from Carl's office after the plane crash, promised an interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed there wasn't a break-in. Instead, someone with the key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to the recent storm. This means it was likely someone close to the family who's aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, also goes on to posit the culprit has an alternate agenda, specifically because nobody in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. Comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another incident of the Roottree curse being a real truth ring. Bet you Carl was murdered that had the picture had evidence in it." The Roottree curse? Oh no, I'm gonna get sidetracked. I'm gonna get so sidetracked. I have pictures to label. There's a long, rambling conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says that the Roottrees are cursed. There's been very recent update with the following. Important update, with Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottree Company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now, just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. Okay, I am even more convinced that Guy is the one that didn't have kids if he died. It was hit by a drunk driver in 82. Another entry that claims you connect the dots to the pattern of the 5 pieces wrapper. It creates a Mayan Ruby skull. Secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. Most before that is a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 quarter simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of the site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims the owner of the site received an email from a Chris Raff75 at prodigy.us asking him to take down a site with fake proof that Ernie Madsen actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because an expert at creating fake evidence. First entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Roottree Candy Company factory. So taken by the website's author from behind a fence through some trees. It seems that Operation RT29 is real. I witnessed the helicopter land on February 29th, 1996. Website footage says all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let's start with this. You find more conspiracy websites. Some people out there claim that the Rootrees are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals. February 29th? It is 1996 is a leap year. Include more and more chemicals is done in cooperation with bad actors from an unknown government. Claim that due to a loophole in the calendar, it is possible to get away from nearly any crime on a leap day so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over. Every 4 years on a leap year, the Roottree Company hosts a meeting with foreign agents to conspire to poison our children. The proof is that Roottree candies contain polyglycerol polyricinoleate, ingredient of the candy that wasn't there when it first released. Claimed it is added in an attempt to addict people and eventually induce mind control. Website claims to sell pills that counteract its effect for children that have already eaten Roottree candy in the past. You do an additional search for polyglycerol polyricinoleate. It seems to be an emulsifier, and chocolate's approved by the FDA and widely used across many products. All right, who the fuck's Thomas Overwood? Thomas Overwood seems to have a few different sites about mysterious deaths and curses. In addition to the Roottree Curse website, you can find what about the truth behind Spirit Cola, which claims the spirit really stands for Satan's Plague is returning in 2000. In the year 2000, anyone who has drunk Spirit Cola will die. The website is Stock Markets, the Devil's Number, which claims that if you multiply any stock's price by 666, they also multiply the current year by the same stock's price. Add those two numbers together and divide the entire total by the stock price. Find and subtract the current year, you always end up with 666. Anyway, well, let's put some pictures up. This is gonna be Miracle, which makes you Miss Ritchie Jr. I'm gonna go that Gwen Roottree inherited her mom's blonde hair. That felt like a very good guess, not a brute force. No optional entries, damn. But
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it. But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed.
okay, who are you?
I'm a Roottree.
Okay, but which one?
I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of. If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more, in person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
DTN, I'm so sorry. I missed that you resubbed. Thank you for the 45 months. A bastard? Wow. Whoa. I haven't looked at the stuff on my walls yet. Bonjoys. Girl. We do love a riot girl. Hold on. What are these things? What the fuck is this? Okay, anyway, I've got one more picture to go. For Gwendolyn. Anyway, and it was taken in 1935 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Edge and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it, and the three of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, I suppose stopped tantrums. They posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I was found out years later that he never even took a second photo. Wow. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the next generation. Hey, I wonder who this is. I wonder who the big guy is. Attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For all time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way to the left, since to me it looked a lot like Pop did the old one, but I was outvoted by my brothers. So that's going to be Eli. It says the four of us stand together. And so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. Grandma insisted we include Sam even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. Also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge, even after all these years. Okay. So that's going to be Zachariah. Because he looks like he's sampled the wear. So that's going to be Eli. You don't know his job. An additional photo from Miracle. So is this going to be Junior? That's going to be... Okay. Now, these two, I guess... Okay. This is going to be Elias C, which means we have to put this photo over here. This is going to be... Is Edward the last name? Because he's going to be the youngest. Because the four of them are standing together. Who are you? Oh God, which one's... Wait. Oh, okay. This is Sam. I'm just gonna say it right now. Sam's gonna be the top ticket one because you can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. It's two names that must be typed in manually. Clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some loose logic. That makes sense to me. So Samantha Roottree, because Sam Cattrall. Wait, I thought I put Sam Cattrall in somewhere. Okay, so who looks less like the... Well, this is literally your mother's daughter. I would just talking so much about how everyone in this generation was a housewife. So that makes you, Samantha? I'm comfortable with that for now. Still need some jobs for these three. Okay. Does anything about Sam make more sense? They specifically don't go out of the way to not use pronouns for Sam. That would be one of the reasons that it wasn't proper, is because it was a woman who taught him all this stuff. Not that that isn't proper, but you know. Okay. Feel a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very convinced that you're right that that's Samantha. Okay, so we've got 2. Damn, that was a lot. So what did I get out of this? Oh, this needs to be Ernest Madsen. Which makes you... Oh, no. I have no idea which of these two is going to be... I'm confident about this. Because I'm running out of places to put Ernest Madsen Jr. Okay, so if I go back to this... Just assume the siblings are together. Man, these do look like twins, don't they? No, but... That would be Samantha's kids, though, right? Because they're redheads? Maybe it's... Okay, so it's this generation with these two. I have no idea who these two are still. So is Clark in here too? Clark's in here. Is this Caroline? Why is she next to Gwendolyn? Or is she? And that's Gwendolyn. Sweet Caroline. Added 5. Yeah, I can't go longer. My voice is dying. Okay, let's go find someone to raid. This has been super fun, though. This game is everything it was advertised as. Oh my god, I can even sort these. Okay. Is it on Steam only? No idea. I just want to make it clear I've already done this. Same with this one. Oh. Okay. We'll delete that because I can't delete it. We'll start on here because this is probably going to give me something that's helpful. Yeah, I was like, I'm definitely not at a dead end anytime soon. But we've done a lot. We've got 18. Granted, these are the easiest 18. Literally, these 3 are your fucking tutorial. I am very proud of myself that I figured out which one's which because she's got a ring on her finger. Thank you, Obra-like. But yeah, let's go find someone to raid. When the music's so good, you have to fucking vibe to it. Ah, okay. It has been way too long. We're gonna go raid Shishbet, aka Primal. Go get him to boop the snoot, and show him lots of love. And if you join his contact, go follow him. And if you're not already following him, what the fuck? We raid him all the time. What do you mean? He's playing some rivals right now. I'll be back Monday. I'm definitely gonna be back because I really want to play more of this. Kyle, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have big plans for the new year. I'm sure you do. Maybe one of them involves Sekiro. Anyway, go show Primal some love. I'll see you guys over there. I'll see you back here Friday. Thanks for watching.